Welcome to Expose Them. I'm Candace Royale. Have you ever wondered how you could find Mr. Right for sure? Is there a checklist? Do we really have to be so picky? How about a little compromise now and again? Or not? My call is to teach women how to know if there's a narcissist in their midst, a wolf in sheep's clothing, and how to find the right one, what to look for in a man, in perhaps a work environment, or even a church. There's a lot of different levels on which we hunt, and I don't mean that you do literally need to go out hunting for a man. I actually discourage that, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But there are things we do have to keep our eyes open for and look for and be aware that the prospect may eventually come, regardless of how much work and effort we put into it or not. So I'm going to start with the checklist. I really do feel you should have one. It would have been really nice if I had known I could have one. And I want you to realize these are non-negotiables. These are non-negotiables. This isn't just something you should kind of keep for the cream of the crop. This is for every single point on this man. No, you're not going to find a perfect one. My guess is you aren't going to be perfect either. But this is what we do. If you set the bar high, you're going to reach for the moon and the stars. Otherwise, you're going to just drag your feet through the treetops and end up in the mud. Here we go. First of all, he needs to have God as his focus. God has to be the centerpiece in every relationship. He needs to be in love with the Lord. He needs to fear the Lord. He needs to spend time with the Lord. He needs to be the real deal. Not so much that he thinks every time the doors are open in the church that you have to be there and he has to be there. You got to be there together. All the things, volunteering countless hours, giving endless, copious amounts of money. No, not at all. But he does need to know God himself very well. Be the real deal and not a hypocrite. And I would hope that you're the type of person that, since that's how you are, you would know when you've got a phony on your hands. Be awake to that. He needs to have really good hygiene. You know, that might sound a little odd, but I think that's really important. I'd put that right up there with number one on mine. He needs to be one who's willing to go outside for some exercise, do things, ride bikes, take walks, swim, do some sports perhaps, or just play things with you that you like to play too outside, volleyball and softball and such like that. Maybe some badminton. What's that one? Croquet. I'm not saying that right, but we played that all the time when I grew up. It's important that he's willing to get off the couch and go outside for a walk on his own without you having to push him or make suggestions. Money. Money is one of the main things that people get divorced over. Money issues, money problems, and they argue about it the most. Be sure this man has an incredible work ethic. I don't mean that he's a workaholic and you can never get any time with him yourself. That's terrible. That's an awful thing. That's avoidance. That's a form of avoidance. And the last thing you want him doing is avoiding you and rejecting you all over the place. I'm just talking about somebody who has a good career, who's intelligent, who has well-developed character, and has been drawn to a career field that does him well, that will do well, that you and your family will do well by. You'll do well by him financially. That is absolutely important. If you meet him and he's not working, keep walking. He's not your person. Never feel like you have to support, pay for, give a loan to a boyfriend or a fiance or even a husband. Yes, money is fairly much community property, but the way it's managed is that the man should be making the most, and he should be the one that's just willing to go out and do it, while the woman generally stays home and raises the children and keeps the home. If there are no children yet, I don't see why a woman can't be out working too. I think that's wonderful. Then they can make a little more money for their paying off their house and the future that they do have together as they expand their family with children. But when there's children, ideally, it's wonderful when the woman can be at home. If she needs to work part-time, that's fine too. I think that's okay. That can generally work. You can make that happen with good family support. But do not ever let your husband think that he's going to play Mr. Mom when the kids get there so you can go home and you go out and bring home the bacon. Absolutely not. All that is telling you about him is that he's lazy. He will break his promises eventually, and there's just never quite a job that's just suited right for him. And pretty soon you're going to resent this. You're going to be stuck making money the whole time that you're married, and he's going to be home raising the kids, which means opening up a can of Chef Boyardee raviolios every afternoon and making sure it's washed off their face by the time you come home at 5. Don't do it. Notice I didn't smile on that one? It's happened to me. He needs to be intelligent, as I said, have good character development. Truth must be valuable to him. Valuable. He must value truth. He must also respect authority. I don't mean he has to agree with everything that happens in our government, the politics around us, the church, oh Lord, the church, or even his employer. But he does need to be respectful. He can find a way to make a godly appeal and work around something, even if it's in a court of law. I don't mean dishonestly. Just honesty is extremely important. But he must respect authority, even driving rules, obeying street signs and so forth. If he doesn't, it shows a root of rebellion. And as Scripture says, rebellion is equal to the sin of witchcraft. Make sure he's responsible, respectful, does not cuss, swear, and make crude jokes. None of that kind of thing. No drinking or smoking. No going off to bars now and again. Because now will equal again all the time, eventually. Remember, this guy's putting his best foot forward with you. You want him to be the man of your dreams, the man that God has prepared for you. And there is such a one out there. Now, as far as how he treats his family, I think close family ties are very good. A close family unit is helpful, healthy. I think that's what we would want to emulate in our own marriages for our children and see that replicated for generations. But watch out if mommy is just a little too fond of him. I don't mean the anything, sexually promiscuous or off base there. That would be obviously clearly out of the picture. But if mommy's got her clutches in him, that means he's got a wimpy backbone. He's not going to stand up to her for you. She's a narc, and somewhere inside of him, so is he. And by narc, I mean narcissist. Make sure that you can laugh together, have fun together, enjoy life together, play, be good friends together too. I don't mean just friends. If you're going to get married, don't marry somebody who's just a friend. Don't compromise there. I hear people ask that all the time. We're so close and we've been friends for so long. Should I just marry him? No. He needs to be attractive to you. There needs to be a little bit more than just a friend. He needs to make your heart flutter and those butterflies to start floating around inside whenever you think of him. And you need to do the same for him. And just a friend is not going to work. Now, if you start out as friends and if you've known each other for a while in a work setting or something like that, maybe a church setting, some kind of project you've been on, that's actually a really good way to meet somebody and find out what kind of person it is you're meeting. How do they act in traffic? How do they treat their parents? How do they speak behind people's backs? And so forth. All the things on this list here, that gives you time. I think that's fine. And that's actually pretty healthy. But if that's all you've got with that person, don't try to force it to be anything it's not. If it's not romantic, it's not. And they're not your person. Make sure that they defend you and they don't throw you under the bus. Whether it's to their parents, like I said before, mommy, anyone, Anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. They're friends. Their friend group. They do not get to throw you on the bus, make you the butt of a joke, and not defend you when somebody else is disrespecting you. That's the worst insult you can ever take from anyone. Run like your hair is on fire from that kind of man. Make sure that he has a good friend group, a healthy, respectful friend group, one that you can enjoy being with once in a while too, when you do more group gatherings and not just one-on-ones. Make sure that he knows how to hold a conversation. Dear Lord, don't be the one that always has to try to get the guy to talk. That will go south so fast, you will hate that. He's not just quiet. He's a narc. Welcome to my world. It was. I'm happily divorced now, and I can coach people on going through that too. But what I'm doing this video for is to help women not to have to get in that situation, to identify them and just avoid that whole hell on earth scenario. You want him to be proud to introduce you to people, to take you to the company party, again, to meet the friend group, to meet the family, and you want them to embrace you too. You want them to welcome you in and have it be a fairly smooth fit. There's always going to be some people you won't get along with as well as others. But when it comes to those type of relationships or a church setting and whatnot, anything he's got that you don't have yet, that you're not involved in yet, make sure that it goes well for you too, and you're not just somebody on the outside looking in. You don't want him to be mealy or whiny. He needs to have a backbone. Conversely, you don't want him to be demanding or controlling either. There's a nice balance you can find. It's a comfortable fit, and that's where you want to be with him. Don't let him love bomb you. If he does, and if he tries, he's absolutely worth running away from fast. Love bombing is that, oh, just, you're so wonderful, box of candy and roses every night, can't say enough, can't do enough, can't be present enough. That's a great way to know that he's a full-fledged narc. And as soon as he's got you, he will dump you as fast as he did, because he's avoidant too. That's part of it. He can almost strangulate you with that love bombing, and then he can dump you like a box of hot rocks as soon as he feels a little uncomfy. It's brutal either way. Now, for your side, because you get to have a list too, don't be always on the look and the hunt for a man. If you are, you're going to compromise 100%. You're going to compromise. Count on it. You will. That right man will come. There's an ebb and a flow to life, and you will find him. He will find you. And it's best if he's the one doing the initiating, the one that pursues. Let him pursue you. That's a much healthier vantage point than the other way around. Generally, when women go out chasing after men, they find one that's weak and that they don't respect over time. Don't flirt. Don't be promiscuous like that. You'll never catch the man you really want if you do. That's not the kind of man that you're going to want to marry. Don't dress provocatively to try to catch someone like that. Always be more on the modest side. You don't have to wear a U.S. mailbox everywhere you go, but don't be all frisky like that. If you can catch who you dressed for when you dress like that, he's not going to be the type you're going to want to stay with. And over time, you will regret it massively. Have a life already. Have it going. Have the gal that's got it going. You maybe are still in school. You maybe want to take a little additional education. Maybe you've got a fabulous career and a job that you just love. Maybe you're involved in ministry somehow. Maybe you have a ministry. Be that one who has some friends, who has a good family life, who has what I just told you on the flip side before I drop that page that I can't reach right now. Be sure that all the things I told you that you need to look for in him, you're doing it too as well. You can be respectful. You can be that meek and quiet spirit that 1 Peter 3 talks about. You don't have to be mousy and wimpy and not have a thought. Conversely, you can be outgoing, just be the natural personality that God gave you, and do it with all your heart. But men really find um, non-flirtatious, non-provocative, non-abrasive and obnoxious women attractive. They don't want that. They don't want that. They find the more reserved and respectful ones appealing. And I can be just as out there as anyone else. I really love to have a good time. I'm very playful. I'm very, I have a very good sense of humor, and I love using it. I love to be all out there sometimes, but not in an obnoxious, abrasive way. I still have a meek and quiet spirit. That's more prominent. It's well balanced. It's well balanced. Be sure that you put a high premium on and value the home, the family, and your children. Obviously, your children are part of the family. Even dogs, animals, if you have a farm, whatever it is you do, be sure that you value the family, because when you marry, it is, as I said earlier, ideal if you're the one keeping the home, raising the children, while your husband is out working and doing what it is he does to bring in a good income, and I mean a good one. You don't have to be nip and tucking it all the time. You don't always have to be making excuses for why you can't do this and don't have that and can't afford this. I'm not saying you should always be about the material stuff. Not at all. That wouldn't be a good place to have your heart centered. But we are children of the King, and you should be proud to walk with your head held high, knowing that you are royalty. As a result, you're royalty. You're the children of the King, and you should be able to walk emulating that. And then, of course, being able to have money to flow out to others, too. That's really hard to do when you're impoverished all the time. Ask me how I know. All right, and I think I mentioned it, but if not, I do want to stress how important it is not to let your husband fall into a Mr. Mom role. Oh, he might be fine with the children, maybe, but he's not you. You're the one that God gave the nurturing instinct to. You're the one who nurses the infants, the little babies, until they grow up and you wean them. You're the one that has the natural inclination to know what to do in a crisis emergency around children. You may have to learn, but you've got the innate makeup for it. He does not. I'm not putting him down. I'm not saying he wouldn't do all right in a pinch. If you have to run to the store, or you're going somewhere, or maybe you're going out with your girlfriends, or just having a fun bye-bye by yourself. I think that's great. Wonderful. Do those things. Maybe you have a part-time job and you want to keep doing that, and he'll be home while you do that. Maybe you don't have a sitter for that period of time. However you make that kind of thing work. Don't let him be Mr. 100%. Because he will eventually take advantage of the fact that you're bringing in the dough, and he will let you. And eventually you will resent that. And that is a big wedge in any marriage. It's not the way God intended it, and it does not go well for you over the long haul. Well, contact me if you need help. I'll have my email in this video somewhere, probably right over my head right now. And let me know if you have any questions. I am a coach, and I think I can help you. God bless you richly, and until the next video, expect good things. He whom the Son has set free shall be free indeed.